I was raised with divorced parents. My mom raised me and my older sister as a single mom, and she did her best to raise us in the church. My mom started, when she got remarried, it was to a guy that me and my sister both didn't like, and we expressed that to her, and she was blinded by it. So it caused a lot of division in the house a little bit. He claimed to be a man of God and tried to lead us, but I think he misrepresented Christ in a lot of ways that put a lot of different things on my sister and I. I knew God, but I wasn't in the Word, and I wouldn't say that I was a follower of Jesus either. I ended up going to a Christian camp and accepted Jesus when I was 13. My freshman year into high school, I went to a public high school, and I was getting into kind of the wrong crowd. I didn't have a lot of friends in middle school, so coming into high school, I was leaning more towards the popular crowd. They wanted to go to parties and drink, and I kind of got into that as well. But my first experience drinking was at a New Year's Eve party, and I got so drunk that I blacked out, and I don't remember much of anything of what happened, and I woke up in the hospital. And then I found out later that my friends that I was with had brought me to the side of the road, and this lady had come by in a car thinking that I needed help, which I did, praise God. She was an angel that had saved my life, because they had told me at the hospital I would have died if I didn't go to the hospital. But then that led me to dropping out of school, and then later going to a different high school. That's where I ended up meeting my boyfriend at the time. There was a lot of pressure in school of oh yeah, have you had sex yet? Have you? I'm just no. And there's pressure of that, of oh wait, you haven't done that yet? Oh, we've done this, this, and this, and this. And it's oh, okay, or it's kind of me trying to hide what I haven't done towards peers in school. And I think I felt the pressure, and he probably did as well. And then we ended up having sex for the first time after 4 months of a relationship, and it was something that I was holding back of. I was I don't really want to. In my head thinking that I don't want to do this, but then the enemy coming in and saying no, but this is what you should be doing. Why don't you want to be doing this? This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is normal. So this relationship lasted from when I was 16 till I was 21. All the pressure that was on top of me, it was something that I could have totally walked away from. I could have completely saved myself until marriage and did God's plan, but instead I fell into the trap of pressure and the people around me, and wanting to be of the world, and wanting to seek love from the world that will just never satisfy me. Eventually I transferred to PBA, and it was towards the end of my relationship with my boyfriend at the time, and I was lonely. I didn't have any friends or community, and I was eagerly seeking out friends. I met my roommate, Gabby, and God sent me Gabby to show me what a life looks like living like Jesus. She basically brought me in with her friends and her community at PBA, and it was very clear to me that I was living in sin, and it wasn't revealed to me throughout this whole time, but now I can see clearly that I have been living in sin this whole time and in this relationship, and the only way to be closer to God is to surrender it all, and that's what I did. I didn't know how to break up with him, and I was scared to. Also, it was this is somebody I've known for 5 years in my life, and a constant, and somebody who has loved me. Is I don't want to lose somebody who loves me. He ended up going to a strip club, and it was almost like a switch. It was wow. It was God just made this really easy, because that's something that I definitely don't want somebody to be the father of my children, to be going to a strip club. The next time I'd seen him after that, and it was this huge fight that I actually couldn't even give him a hug. It was I didn't even want to touch him or look at him. It was almost God made it so easy to let go of him and surrender him to God. After that happened, I quickly sought out discipleship, and I just wanted to know everything else that I've been blinded to. It's God, just teach me and show me, reveal to me everything that is about you, or everything that you are. God was constantly giving me opportunities to share my testimony with people who have gone through the same thing, but know that God's love surpasses all knowledge, all understanding, is the only one that can satisfy. God's story for me is a living testimony of that, of how nothing on earth, like no person, nothing, not my mom, my dad, not my boyfriend, not friends, nothing can satisfy other than the love of Christ.